Today's video is sponsored by Black Gold Compost Company. I want to thank the good people over at Black Gold for the generous donation of all this beautiful black cow manure that we use in our video today, and it's made a tremendous success in our garden. I've been using black cow for many years, ever since 1980, and it's always made a tremendous difference in my garden, and I've been very pleased with our product. I highly recommend it. Thank you, Black Gold, for sponsoring our channel. Well, good morning, friends. Today we're going to plant some tam jalapenos. These are a little bit milder than the traditional jalapenos that you're probably used to getting in the grocery store. These are a little bit milder than those. So we wanted to grow some of these, and we're going to grow them in 5-gallon buckets. And I just thought you'd like to tag along on this little journey, because it might be something you want to grow in your spring garden. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. We're going to get started on our tam jalapenos. I got these seeds at Baker Creek. Great place to buy seeds. Go check them out online. They have a good selection of all kinds of good stuff, and I've always had really good success with their seeds. Great company, good people to work with too. Anyway, I got the seeds planted. I'm going to get them germinating, get them growing, and we'll be back in the days ahead and watch the progress of these beautiful little plants, and we'll set them out in some 5-gallon buckets. I know a lot of people many people don't have a big, huge space to work with, and this is ideal for you if you like them hot. So we can put these in some 5-gallon buckets and grow them on up and into the harvest. So stick with us and let's watch the progress of these together. So we'll be back in the days ahead. Check up on them. See you then. Well, our tam jalapeno have been in the seed starting rack for 10 days. You can see some real small seedlings breaking the ground right here. Here's a couple that's already came up with the codling leaves. A couple more trying to come up. They're a little slow to get started, as is typical with all peppers. So you have to be patient with these. They're getting there. So we'll be back in about 10 more days and take a look at the progress. They should get a little traction over in the next 10 days. So we'll be back soon. Well, the big day finally got here. The tam jalapenos are ready to be planted into some 5-gallon buckets and get that show on the road. If you remember, we planted these beautiful little jalapenos on March the 10th from seed, and today's April the 21st, so they've been doing really pretty good. Remember, peppers are kind of slow, so these are some good sized plants. You can take a good close look at them. They're pretty good size, considering they've only been out here for about 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks maybe. So they're not really what you call small. They're just ready to get out of these little bitty cups. So we got our 5-gallon buckets ready. Let's go through that process together and show you how to grow these things together in a 5-gallon bucket. Okay, got my 5-gallon bucket set up. I'm using my this is my container mix that I make myself. It's really nothing to it. If you want to mix up your own container mix at home, we've got a video on our channel. Go check it out on how to make container mix at home. And Nancy will put a link to that video up for you, so you can go check that out. But today I've got the soil in the buckets, and I've got it about 3 or 4 inches from the rim. And the reason I do that is I'm going to pre-soak these buckets before I plant in them, and that right there is going to sink down. Okay, it'll compress once it gets wet. Now when I get this got the buckets in, I want to add in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of bone meal so I can get a good shot of phosphorus. I want to promote lots of healthy roots and lots of blooms, okay? Then I'll put in another 3 tablespoons of blood meal. This is going to give me lots of good foliage, promote good foliage growth and good healthy overall plant. So let me get that in the buckets, and then I'll water those in. Okay. Bone meal. Putting it in the way I do it, after I water it in, that puts that bone meal and that blood meal right at the bottom of the root level of the seedling that I put in. Okay. Now I'm going to flood the pots. I put about 3 inches of water on here. See, I get it to where it's pretty close to the top of the rim. And that'll soak down through the pot so it can pre-moisten all that real dry container mix that I just made. Okay, our pots have soaked down. Next thing I do is I add some more container mix that's dry on top of what I just pre-soaked. I get it up to about an inch above an inch below the rim of the bucket like this. See? Then I'm going to punch a hole in here about from the tip of my middle finger to the middle of my palm. That's the depth I'm looking for. Then I take a seedling, get it ready. I take 2 more tablespoons of bone meal, 2 tablespoons of blood meal, right in the hole. Then I take my little seedling and I put it in there, and I collapse the sides around that seedling, see? See how I did that? Once I got it in, I pack it down kind of tight as I can. Okay. That seedling's set. Now let me add a little bit more soil since I packed it down in there. Okay. Now I got it up to the level I want it. The next step is I take some bamboo stakes. These are what I get to use to give this stem and this little seedling some support, because it's brand new and it's you know, having to learn how to deal with wind and heavy rains and stuff like that. So what I do is I take this bamboo stake and I go right beside it and I trap it in a triangular pattern. Now see how I got that seedling trapped by its own stem inside that triangle. Okay, that gives it some support. Now you can get these bamboo stakes at any garden center. If you have trouble finding these things, we have them on our Amazon storefront link on the About page of our YouTube channel. You can go there and get some if you can't find them nowhere. But that's what these are, bamboo stakes, 24 inches long. Then I use these little wire tomato cages. You've seen these, they're everywhere. They're in all the garden centers. You can get these anywhere. What I do is I put that right over the plant, right in. Okay, and the reason I put it in now is I want this plant to mature and grow into the wire frame instead of letting the plant get big and then trying to put the frame over it. Then you just break up a bunch of the limbs and things trying to get it on there, damage the plant. So let it grow into the support cage, and when this thing gets on up big and it's full of fruit, it's going to be supported correctly, and it'll be a good plant for you in your garden. Let me get the rest of these 4 pots done, and I'll meet you over at the grow table and we'll get them set up and do a final water. Okay, I got all the pots over here onto the 5-gallon bucket grow table. And if you haven't got one of these 5-gallon bucket grow tables for your backyard, Nancy can put a link to a video where we built these tables together, and you can get some of these for your own backyard. But anyway, I got the I got them all over here onto the grow table. I've got them all watered in. Remember, I just had to lightly water them when I got them over here because we've already pre-moistened the bottom 75% of these buckets before we planted the seedlings. So all I had to do was lightly water that new soil that I put in over there. So anyway, the Tam jalapenos are off and running, and we'll be back in the days ahead, and we'll watch the development of these all the way up until harvest. So we'll be seeing you soon. Well, good morning. Just wanted to give you another update on the Tam jalapenos. Remember, we planted these from seed on March the 10th, and the day is May the 10th. So they've been doing pretty good for 2 months. We got them planted out here, had a real cool spring this year, so they kind of had a hard time, a little bit of a struggle to get going because of the cool temperatures, because these pepper plants, they don't like that cold weather. So anyway, they're doing great now. They're up about 10 inches tall, maybe a couple of them might even be 12 inches tall. They're starting to look like they're putting on some blooms. If you look up real close, you can see some little buds forming now on all of them, and these little buds here will blossom out and put on the little flowers here in the next week or so, and then they'll start to actually produce the peppers. So we're looking forward to that. Remember, these are only half as hot as a normal jalapeno that you're used to getting. These are only 2,500 on the Scoville heat unit. So that's not bad. I think we're going to really enjoy the spicy kick that it has to it. Plus you can taste the flavor real good. So we're looking forward to these. So we'll be back in the days ahead as these beautiful Tam jalapenos continue to develop, and we'll watch the progression of it together. See you soon. Well, good morning, friends. Our Tam jalapenos are coming in to their first harvest, and they looks like there's some pretty good looking ones in here. And today we were going to pick up about a dozen or so. Nancy gonna make some jalapeno poppers. I like them things. Anyway, let's grab up a dozen or so of them and head over to the harvest area and wash them up and take a little close-up look at how they turned out.
Okay, wonderful. So nice. Look how pretty they are.
That is a nice looking jalapeno, nice and plump. That's the perfect one for a popper, ain't it? Okay, well, we got a nice little harvest this morning, so we can go over and make some jalapenos poppers. And this one here is supposed to be, remember, like we talked about earlier, a 2,500 on the Scoville heat unit instead of the normal 5,000 that a regular jalapeno is. So let's check it out and see if it's much less heat. Oh, you thought I was going to bite that thing? You know I'm tender. I can't do that. So I'm going to pass it off to Nancy. She's a lot more dialed in on that heat stuff. So.
Tastes good.
Is it less heat than a regular jalapeno?
Yeah, a lot less.
You can tell the difference? Oh, cool. So they work. So anyway, I guess if you're looking for a jalapeno that's got a little less heat and they still have plenty of good flavor, right? Yeah, this might be what you want to try in your spring garden this year. Tam jalapenos. So we thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our little journey on these beautiful little jalapeno peppers. So We hope our video brought a smile to your face and some joy to your heart and had a good day today. So until me and Nancy and Bing Bing see you next time, always remember, by His hands we're fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Amen.
Have a blessed day.